My name is Sperry. I'll be going over the Excel project we created in DSIN 203. The first part of the project was the mockup. The mockup allowed us to make 12 different types of questions that we would be answering with the different tools and accessories of Excel. The question that I'll be emphasizing the most today is going to be which country sold the most iPods. I find that question very important because one, iPods are one of the most popular music playing devices in the world, and this will allow us to see which area of the world likes them more or purchases them necessarily. A couple more questions you're going to see are the top 6 months and the bottom 6 months, and I find that one important because this shows which time of the year most sales are going to be happening. My prediction is going to be around the holidays and then right after the holidays. And then the second one we chose, which was the sales of products sold by each salesman. I find that one important because you're able to track your salesman's progress with each type of product, and there one salesman might be better at selling a different product than the next. You should emphasize that, and the manager that you should be presented to emphasize that and allow them to work with that. Here's the question that you're going to be answering later. The question is, which country sold the most iPods? You have the answers: USA, United Kingdom, Mexico, China. And here's where you can find that answer. This is going to be a pivot graph that I created from a pivot chart that was created from the mass amounts of data that was given to us. I first selected all the data to insert pivot chart. This is what came, then it comes up with this drop-down tabs. I went and wiped out everything besides 5 types of electronics in the United States and the United Kingdom. And once I did that, I selected the data and inserted a pivot graph. This is what came up with. This is obviously a bar graph, and I created it into a thermostat style. This allows you to see the difference in sales of different products between each country the easiest. As you can tell, United Kingdom won in the iPod sales. The difference is roughly 20,000, which is a little shock. I thought we would be a little higher up or even possibly in the lead. The United Kingdom did beat us in everything except for the iMac. We are more of a computer-based country, and I can understand that one. The next slide, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be the top 6 months and the bottom 6 months. I find this very important because this, like I said earlier, this allows us to see which area of the time of the year most products are going to be sold. As I predicted was correct, it's going to be around the holidays. You're going to have February, which is Valentine's Day. You've got November right before Christmas. Then coming Easter around March and April. And in the bottom 6 months, it's going to be right in the middle of the summer. No one's really going to be purchasing anything. Everything being purchased has already been dealt with over the holidays. Not very many holidays coming around that time. One shock is December. I figured with there being more 25 days before Christmas in December, we'd have a little more sales. But I guess everybody picked everything up on Black Friday. The last question I mentioned was the sales of product per salesperson. I find this one very important, like I mentioned, because this allows for your manager to see which product you're selling more of, better at, and vice versa, and how well you're doing overall. I see. We're looking at the iPods. Leverling sold the most iPods, and he sold about 33,000, which is a great number. Overall, he was a great salesman. He has some lackers like Dodsworth, Fuller. Fuller sold a lot of MacBook Pros. Other than that, everybody seemed to do a great job. This chart and this graph was also created like the other bar graph was. I went in, selected making a pivot graph, dropped out everything besides 5 electronics and salespersons and the numbers, and made this beautiful graph. Well, that's the presentation, and I hope you all enjoyed it.